Record. Okay. So welcome to the 2019 Cookie Program webinar. Before we get started, I just want to kind of go over the HD meeting instructions. You're going to use the chat box to ask questions or let us know if you are having any audio issues. We're going to have Rebecca on the line and she's going to be monitoring the chat room. And remember, all participants are muted in order to reduce audio issues. If at a chance you would like to unmute yourself and speak, just let us know. Oh, and please turn off your video. Okay, so tonight we're going to have Rebecca Frazetta on the line, Manager of Product Program, me, Ernie Stevenson, Product Program Specialist, Shannon Van Allen, Product Program Specialist, and we also have Kathy Gleason on the line from ABC Baker. Tonight's agenda. So we're going to go over the 2019 Cookie Program results, recognitions and contest winners, discussion topics. We're going to talk about some early selling issues, social media guidelines, the 2019 cookie booth issues. We're going to talk about future cookie booth guidelines and then 2020 Cookie University. So we're going to get started and let Kathy start off with the cookie program results. So Kathy, I believe you can unmute yourself.
I did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone, and welcome and congratulations on a great sale. You'll see on the left the numbers for 2018, girls selling, troop selling, packages sold, cases sold. So the bottom two are up, which is exciting, and you did it with less girls selling and less troop selling. So you and the girls made this a very successful sale. Membership, we had more girls uploaded into Smart Cookies than the previous year, but some of them were added late, so they really couldn't affect
Kathy,
our numbers.
are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, sorry.
Sorry. Some of the girls uploaded were loaded late in the sale, so they really didn't affect the sale, but the number that's important is the girls selling. Although they were down, and they're down with most councils, you still were able to sell more cookies. Okay. Packages sold, again, over the years since 2015, down slightly, but again, we were up 2% this year. But the awesome thing you do is the per girl average. To have less girls selling, yet they sold so many more cookies is why we were all successful. And since 2015, it's grown from 152 till I hope next year we break that 200 level, but that's amazing. So congratulations. Okay. This is the cookie lineup. We call them ABC, or America's Best Cookies, which Girl Scout cookies are. There will be no changes this coming year. So 2020, we have the same lineup. S'mores went down a bit, but they're still selling well. In fact, Rebecca will tell you that was what we had to reorder at the very beginning a few times because we were all afraid of s'mores from the previous year, but they still sold well. But we'll have the patties, the s'mores, shortbreads, thanks a lot, lemonade, sandwiches, Thin Mints, caramel delights, and we'll also have the caramel chocolate chip gluten-free in the lineup. Okay. And here's how the cookies broke down. S'mores was down about 1% from last year, but still at 8%, still very successful. Tied with thanks a lot, just under shortbreads. Lemonades came back strong, and mints, of course, do very well for your council. So congratulations, and we had 1% in, it wasn't trios, but it was the caramel chocolate chip gluten-free. Sorry I missed that before.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathy. Now I'm going to go over some more sales results. I'm going to go over the direct ship numbers. Usually we talk about this later, but I feel like this is very important and significant because we're going to see I feel like we're going to see continued growth when it comes to direct ship. So as you can see, we had a lot more girls send out direct ship notifications. When I say direct ship notifications, I'm talking about e-cards and also the web links for direct ship that you can just post on social media or just email to someone. As you can see, more girls had direct ship sales. And when it comes to direct ship sales, I wrote at the bottom, at least 80% of girls selling, girls who send out notifications had online sales through direct ship. So basically it's saying that most of that, when the girls send out direct ship notification, at least 80% of the girls will have direct ship sales. That's selling at least one package of cookies. And as you can see, when it comes to total sales, it's almost double. So I feel like this is a huge opportunity, especially because last year was the first year where we had the girl dashboard. It wasn't separated like Coco Direct. So I feel like as time goes on and people get used to it and spread the word, it'll get easier and more people will start using the direct ship. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the top 5 service units by total packages sold. So number 1, we have Watonga, then Timber Creek, East Brunswick, South River, Milltown. Then we have 5 Star, then Cherry Hill, Haddonfield. Then the top 5 service units per girl average. We have Watonga coming in at number 1 with a per girl average of 450. Lenape Pines at 337. 5 Star at 325. Rancocas Valley at 313, and Washington Township at 313. So just so you remember, council-wide, our PGA is 191. So these service units did an awesome job. And here are our top 10 cookie sellers. We have Mahia Sampson coming in at number 1 again this year. So congratulations to her. And this is a list of our top 10 cookie sellers. Some of them are people who've always been top 10 cookie sellers. So awesome job to you girls. Okay, so this is a slide I definitely wanted to add in this year to kind of compare to see when it comes to the booth locator uploads. Last year we had 21 service units upload booths, but this year we only had 12. And I know a lot of those issues were because people had difficulty doing it. So later on in the slides, we'll talk more about the booth locator and how we're going to do cookie booth training for next year so that we can find easier ways to help you guys out when it comes to adding booths to the booth locator. Because as you know, customers will put in their zip code into the cookie booth finder, and that's how they're able to find cookie booths. So we definitely want to make sure that we're able to spread the word about the cookie booths for our council. Okay, and now I'm going to hand it over to Shannon to talk about recognitions.
Hi, everybody. So first, we're going to talk about our Buy 5 contest winners for this year. So we had winners from 5 service units, which include Northern Burlington, East Brunswick, Milltown, South River, Sayreville, South Amboy, 5 Star, and Crow Pond. So a nice mix of service units. Next, we're going to talk about our troop incentive. So 528 troops received 2 volunteer t-shirts, and the troops that received it, these were the requirements that they met by March 17th. So for the Cookie Share program, 2,945 cases have been donated. We did exceed our goal of 2,700 cases, which is awesome. The cookie activity pin, 2,149 cookie activity pins were purchased through Juliet's Closet as of April 4th, 2019. The Superhero Booth Contest. So 22 troops participated in the Superhero Booth Contest. We did pick 5 winners, and troops can pick up their water bottles starting April 10th. So the winning troops are listed on the side. They were 24137, 28416, 31046, 70913, and 80308. And then we wanted to show the pictures of the winning booths. The girls worked really hard and they looked awesome. So next we're going to talk about Cookie Rally. So we had the same amount of service units hold a Cookie Rally in 2018 as we did in 2019. So we didn't see an increase. So we were wondering to service units who do rallies or those service units who don't, why or why not.
And we'll give you guys just like 2 minutes in the chat box just to write down why you don't do cookie rallies. I'm gonna go over to some of these. Okay, so if you guys look in the chat room, some people, so I had Jill say she only had an adult leader rally, and her reason was because most of the troops were experienced troops, so she wanted to go over things with the leaders. It's hard to get the girls out since we start right after the holidays. Kelly Klein asked what a cookie rally is. Rebecca responded, Cookie Rally is a fun kickoff event to get the girls and adults excited for the upcoming cookie program. And just so you guys know, every year ABC Baker provides a Cookie Rally instruction packet, and we always upload that to the team app. And let's see. So Sarah agrees with Jill. Very similar experience. Troops are difficult to get together. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to move on. Wait, let me make sure. Okay. So now we're going to move on. We're going to have a few discussion topics. These topics are something that we feel that were important because of a lot of the issues that came up during the cookie season. So we want to get your guys' feedback on that. If you would like to be unmuted, just let us know in the chat room that you would just like to speak on it instead of typing it. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to talk about some early selling issues. During the cookie season, especially before the sale begins, you know that we guys are out at Mega Drops and it's so busy, and that's a lot of the times where we get emails from either parents or troop leaders, or sometimes even you guys from the service unit team, about people selling cookies early. So a lot of examples are either they're collecting money or asking for orders, or they're just physically selling cookies on hand that they've received before the cookie season started. So we wanted to get your guys' feedback on what should happen when we get reports that a girl family is selling cookies before the cookie program start date. Now, the reason we want to get your guys' feedback is because usually every year there's sometimes usually a parent, like a family who's this is their first year or troops' first year and they didn't quite understand. But when it comes to people who are repeat offenders, we know that we don't have any clear-cut rules on how to handle this as a whole council. Instead of worrying about you guys just having your own specific service unit rules, we want to be able to back you guys up more. So does anybody have any suggestions on what should happen when we get reports about people selling early? So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. If you would like to be unmuted, just say that in the chat room and I will unmute you. Okay, so we already have Jill who responded. The repeat offenders, the scouts should lose their incentives, but don't think it should affect the whole troop. Can you do? Well, we could talk about that when we, like, you know, I just want to see if other people say stuff. Okay, we have that. Christine Sherman said, I thought you lost proceeds if you did that. Let's see. Kelly says a clear policy of warning the first time for 1 girl per troop, second time per troop is a penalty. Okay. Anybody else has anything else to add before I kind of go over what Rebecca's saying, and she can chime in and add some more stuff? Okay, so Jill said there was some posting in an online yard sale site before the troop, I guess before the sale. Okay, we'll talk about that next. We have a social media question. Okay, so Rebecca, you want to chime in with what we're kind of thinking when it comes to that?
Yeah, do you want to read it?
Yeah, let me find you real quick. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, they can.
Okay. So what we talked about yesterday and Tuesday is creating a Google form similar to what we have for the parent delinquency, where service unit managers, service unit cookie managers, or cookie booth coordinators, if they come across early selling issues, they can report them by submitting a form, and maybe including any screenshots or more details. The issue that we've found is when people report something, a lot of times we get the comment along with it that, oh, this is the same family every year. This is the problem we have every year with this family or this mom. So because we haven't really created a precedence or a way of documenting this, we're thinking of creating a form very similar to the parent delinquency form where you folks can go online, and if this happens, you can report it. It's putting it into documentation. We are noting it on Salesforce, and now we're creating like a history so that we can move forward with any type of consequences. And obviously, we don't like to go to the extreme first. We don't want to penalize an entire troop or girl. We want to look at maybe verbal warnings, some other suggestions that will come up to play as we get into training of maybe losing booths, depending on the severity of it. So what we're really looking to do is create some clear guidelines so that everybody's on the same page. So I think if you still have any more comments, you can type them into the chat, and we're just going to keep move forward. And Kelly, I agree, Kelly Klein, I think all warnings should be in writing. And I think that's really where we want to get to. We want to document these things so that year 2, we have a basis to say, okay, hey, Mrs. Smith, this happened last year. Now you're looking at the second year of consequences. And now we've created a history.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second discussion topic. So improper social media posting. So examples of that are posting on public sites like garage sale groups, and then also posting Smart Cookies direct ship links on public facing sites, and also directly asking for cookie orders on Facebook, like such typing on people's wall or commenting on a picture asking for cookie orders. So our current social media guidelines are girls may only post about their Smart Cookies direct ship participation on social media that allows them to restrict access to friends and family only. So basically, if a girl wants to post her Smart Cookies direct ship link on her Facebook page, her page has to be private to only her friends and family. We know we get a lot of people who are unclear about what the social media guidelines are, especially when it comes to the Facebook garage sale groups. So we want to know what you guys think should happen when we get reports that a person is improperly posting on social media. And Rebecca talked about the form we would have for early selling. I believe we would have the same form for social media posting. So we just wanted to get you guys' feedback on that.
Hello?
Okay, so hi everyone, it's Rebecca again. So yes, reading the comments, having clear guidelines, we do have some guidelines. I think some gray area that we struggled with this year is our council was sharing like countdown to cookie sales and posts and on Instagram and Facebook, and we want parents and families to share them and get excitement and have fun with it, but there's clear ways that they can and can't post. So I think some ideas that were brought up the past 2 nights was maybe putting a sample in the guides or instructions of what can be posted with actual picture examples and what can't be posted, so people can see even clearer what is the correct way to post and what's the incorrect way to post. Yes, it's very hard to reach 14,000 families, so we can do our best with making guidelines as clear as possible. So maybe doing those like do this, don't do that type of examples may help. So it does remove that gray area. And what our niece said is we are going to kind of have this kind of one-off form, and making it clear in our guidelines, in our guidebooks next year that, there is a place now that council will be notified. There is a form if families are selling early or if families are improperly posting on social media, and the council will be notified. It will be documented on your history, and these are the consequences kind of laid out, like first offense, second offense, third offense. This way, all the service units, everybody's on the same page. All the parents can also see what the consequences are that could, unfortunately, maybe affect the entire troop. And then this is where, it comes to the leader that, a lot of times leaders are just busy and handing out packets. Here's your cookie stuff. Have fun. Start selling on the 17th. See you guys in 2 weeks at our next meeting. And at no fault of theirs, the parents don't take the time to read the family guide. They don't take the time to read the guides to see when the dates start. And I think Kelly did post that, some social media mistakes do tend to be more accidental. And she is correct. The couple people that we did have to call this year, email, when it was brought to their attention, they were very apologetic. They didn't know, they missed it. And I think that kind of goes back to having, required cookie trainings at your service unit level for your troop leaders, and also really explaining the importance for troop leaders to educate their parents so that these consequences are spelled out. It's right here in your guides, making sure the troop leaders let their parents know that this is what could happen to our troop and our girls if, this isn't followed. I think Kelly posted about training should be rolled out more globally, not just service unit computerized. That's definitely something our team would like to hear more about. If you think we should be, it's hard for us because sometimes places we feel like we're stepping on toes of our service unit managers, but cookie managers. But if you think that maybe we should do some regionalized trainings that are just open to leaders at community colleges or large churches, email us. We would love to hear your feedback on that and your suggestions. We're definitely open to providing more training for our members. The person we messaged on the yard sale site was very nasty. All the people nicely explained. Exactly. And I think, we do get some nasty people. We do get some really apologetic new people that just didn't know. They didn't read the family guide. They just thought they were helping their daughter sell cookies. And you can kind of usually tell when they're genuine. But that's really where having these guidelines spelled out would be very helpful, because it's not appropriate for volunteers or anybody to be nasty back to you or us if we have to kind of remind them of a rule or a guideline being broken. So we definitely want to have this in writing to support you all so that you feel that we have your back. This is it. There's no gray area, and nothing, being nasty, being rude, being, vulgar is not the answer. So, okay. So we're going to keep going, and our niece is going to take back over.
Okay, so the 2019 cookie booth issues, we just kind of want to go over that. So there were some issues reported to council. Number one, troops being disrespectful at booth locations. So that's either the kids at the booth running around the store or being unruly, or even with the troop leaders being nasty to the store staff. And then we have service unit booth coordinators not communicating with each other. I find that that's been an issue going on for a few years now between certain service units. And we have to find ways to communicate better with each other. A lot of times I find that, of course, the easiest communication is through email, but I feel like sometimes people might misunderstand people's tone. So sometimes just picking up the phone is probably a better way to communicate. Troops not breaking down booths in time for the next troop. We found that a lot this year where people will contact us like, we're supposed to have this many, but we think the other troop took more of our cookies because while we were breaking down, they were setting up. So that's been an issue with people mixing cookies together. And then also excessive amounts of adults and girls and pets at a cookie booth. Someone from council actually saw this. There were tons of adults, girls, and actual pets at a cookie booth. So that is an issue. And then also the friends and family booth issues, like define lines on that. Like I feel like that's been that's come up a lot this year as to what qualifies as that and what people really understand, which is a family and friends booth location. So we wanted to know how should the cookie booth issues be handled? So you can write your answers in the chat box.
Okay, so when we talk about cookie booth issues, as our niece said, troops being disrespectful, we look at that as not just a booth sale, something that's hurting our cookie program. We look at it that's a branding issue. So, not only is it could be hurting our cookie program and hurting the troops in your community, because the store managers may not allow troops to be there anymore. But it's hurting the Girl Scouts brand in general. It's making them say, okay, these Girl Scouts are crazy. They're unruly. We don't want them at the store. So it's not just a council level thing that's hurting, but it's hurting your community too, because you folks are the ones who live in there. And I know our service unit cookie managers and our cookie booth coordinators, we hear from them every year that, we're losing more and more locations, and an incident happened and now the store doesn't, a great store doesn't want us there anymore. And we totally understand how frustrating that can be for you. And it's not fair. It hurts your entire service unit when one troop has a bad day at a booth and you or your service unit manager or council can't salvage that relationship. And it really does stink. So that's kind of where we get to looking at, like, maybe for next year, reworking our cookie permission slip and including a code of conduct that the girls and parents have to sign that will clearly outline booth sale guidelines and booth sale consequences. And I know it was previously on paper that no more than 4 girls could be at a booth. What we noticed this year was that it was left off when we redid our guidelines. So a couple of times that we had issues and we had to call a troop out for having too many girls, we couldn't go back to the wording of no more than 4 girls, even though many of you folks have correctly trained troops on that. So what we really want to go back to is supporting you all to say that your locations best. So if there's a location that really should only have 2 girls there and 2 adults, then you have that right to say this location at this day and time only has 2 girls, 2 adults, bottom line. If it's a different location that has 2 entrances that works with you and they can do up to 4 girls, then that's something that we really want to support you with. But we really heavily want to go back to the maximum of 2 adults and maximum of 4 girls. Yes, I know somebody said at Petco, yes, unless it's at like a Petco, there really shouldn't be pets, but it wasn't at a Petco. It was at a store. There was like 6 adults, like 10 kids, and like 3 pets. And it was just kind of a very chaotic situation. And what happens is the stores don't tell the troops many of the times, and they may email you as the coordinator and they may say, okay, now we're done, but they don't want to be the bad cop. They don't want to be the bad person to have to kick a troop out when they call us. So, it just tends to be a very tough situation. So we really want to go back to making sure that parents and girls are acting appropriately when they're at somebody's store. When we say service units not communicating with each other, that kind of goes along the line of with the friends and family. Somebody had asked about what type of issues we see. And what we get is a friends and family the booth location is very, there's some gray area. So somebody might say, okay, I have a friends and family contact the next town over. This is a date and time we're going to be there. And sometimes they email that coordinator very like bossy, or the tone is just not very cooperative. And, just because you have that right to hold a booth sale at a place that you have a family connection, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't cooperatively be working with that service unit cookie booth coordinator, because that store could be right next to another store that already has a booth sale. And, you have to look at the picture of we're hurting troops that are already there and the hard work that our coordinators are already doing. So what we want to kind of look at this year is creating some additional friends and family booth guidelines, because we got a lot of complaints this year, a lot of issues of people saying, this service unit just basically emailed me, left me a message, called me, or didn't tell me that this person was there when we went and found out about it. It was like, well, this is a friends and family, like, bye, I'm going to be here or whatever I want. And then, you know, and as Girl Scouts, there's no reason for us to not be able to communicate respectfully with each other and to work with each other, because that service unit would not like somebody coming into their area and telling them that. So I think we just need to have a little bit better communication with each other. So that's kind of where we're looking at with friends and family issues, and really just trying to spread it out a tad bit more. So kind of moving into where we want to go, because this year we seem to have a lot of cookie booth issues. What we want to try to do next year is change some things up. So I'm going to turn it back to our niece and to talk about it.
Okay, so some things that we're looking for future cookie booth guidelines. So we are trying to form sort of a cookie booth committee, but it's going to overall just be a cookie committee. It's something that we're trying to put together so that we can clarify guidelines and have clear consequences and rules in place for when these issues do arise. So we're definitely looking to put together a group of people who can help us and get some ideas and some input. Of course, we would do not all in person. We would have teleconferences and things like that. So if you are interested in doing this, you can send, oh, this is Shannon. So you can send me an email, or if you want to type it in the chat box, and then I'll write your name down. Something else we are looking to do next year is we are going to do mandatory in-person cookie booth coordinator training. We just, you know, when we do a webinar, sometimes people are clicking on the sides and aren't really paying attention. And we think that cookie booth issues are something that are on the rise. So we definitely want to make sure that people attend and are in person. It also helps you to connect with other service units. We did have a training last night, and one service unit that borders another had all these extra booths and nothing to do with them. And had they known the other cookie booth coordinator, they were like, oh, we would have given them all to you. So it's a great opportunity for you to connect with those people. And it also gives us the opportunity, we are going to put new guidelines and procedures in place for cookie booths. So we think it's really important that everybody's there in person. And if you can't be there in person, we are willing to do like a phone conversation or a one-on-one.
Yeah, I just kind of want to piggyback onto that when it comes to service unit cookie booth coordinator training. We know that the people who do come to the training, most of the times you guys aren't the ones who have the issues, but the people who don't come to the training and just do the look at the recorded webinar, those are the people, like, I can't prove that I know that they listen to the whole training. So, and then sometimes I'll have service units, someone will email me, oh, I'm the coordinator, like a month into the sale. And I'm like, who? Like, you didn't even get trained. So it's just like making sure that people have people in place for that. And then if you don't, that can be a conversation where we can have neighboring service units help you. I know a couple service units do that. I know a lot of times Cherry Hill will help Camden with some of their booths. And I believe Medford and Medford Lakes, they always have the same booth coordinator who helps them. And a couple of other service units also link together when it comes to that. Is there any, should we talk about this stuff more? Okay.
Hi, everyone. It's Rebecca. So I just want to follow up with some comments. For the cookie booth, cookie program task force, it will be, as Shannon said, remote. We'll have maybe like once a month, phone conferences, webinar type thing. We know everyone lives in such geographical diverse regions. So this way it would be easier. It will be in the evenings for everyone. Because we know people work. So we're still kind of putting it all together, but we'll most likely create a meeting schedule so that you have it down. Yeah, we can do phone conversations as well. We're not requiring any in-person meetings on this because we know everybody is very diverse in their scheduling. So if you're interested, like I said, it will be completely mobile or online. So let us know. Regarding, like our niece was saying, the mandatory in-person, obviously we know we have some awesome, awesome cookie booth coordinators, and we appreciate you and we want you back. So obviously, if it's something where an in-person just may not work, I know we're looking at having, we will bring it back down to Egg Harbor, but also in the sense that if you can't attend, it has to at least be an in-person conversation with us. We're most likely not going to do just a webinar where it's very hard to see who's on it and who's paying attention, because we really want to make sure that these future cookie booths are as successful as possible for you and you have the best training possible moving forward. So it won't be like, okay, you can't come in person, you can't do it. We'll definitely work with you if that means you say this day and time we can have a half an hour phone conversation to go over the training. We also heard earlier that the cookie booth uploads was very difficult. We heard that from both other wrap-up sessions. So this summer we will be spending some time with ABC Tech, and we will try to understand the upload process as best as we can. I know Shannon struggled with it as well. So we will be really trying to learn that and creating, a comprehensive guide with screenshots the best way possible to make those uploads easier. So we are going to take some time this summer to work on that. So can you be, like I said, Christine, can you be grandfathered in? Yes, we will definitely work with you if you can't come at night. We can have a one-on-one conversation with our coordinators who can't attend in person, just to make sure that we can walk you through all of the new guidelines that are happening, new processes. Kelly, we would love to hear ways to ensure webinar attention. So I'm going to put my email in there again. Please email me any suggestions you have for webinar trainings and how we can do that. And Dawn G, email Shannon that you're interested, or write your last name in the task force. And again, we're going to try to create a schedule and email it out and work with you. Like I said, we can do it via email as well, so we can get your input. Just because you may not be able to call in, we still can give you our topics and hear back from you. So definitely, if you want to be involved in the input process, perfect. Okay, so quickly moving on to Cookie University. Okay, so I know we've talked about this at the Cherry Hill SUM meeting and EB SUM meeting. We're looking for a few more service units to hold some regional cookie universities. I believe Middlesex, we have Edison and Woodbridge working together. I'm not sure if Let's is on here. They were thinking of doing it again. So we're really trying to expand our cookie university for next year. And what we were really looking for is a couple service units in towards the South region, Gloucester, Camden, Cherry Hill, Atlantic County, to run a cookie university for us. So we would be looking to do it in December, super early January, before the program starts. We would do it the way our program was run this year. We would have it in eBiz so that girls can register. Basically, what we're asking of our service units is that they guarantee the 25 to 30 volunteers. And when I say that, as you can see, the way it works is that each station, if there's 5 or 6 stations, is run by 2 or 3 older girls. Cadets are older, and depending on your juniors, if you feel that you can throw a junior in there, that's cool. We had a couple. And 1 adult to manage the stations. And then you would need a few extra adults to help with check-in and the graduation ceremony and so forth, to just assist you for that program. We would help, again, with putting the materials together, the stations. We would budget for it so that we would come out and do a station training with your volunteers. You would help us find the location and schedule the date and time. So what's best for you and your area, because your volunteers are running it. So we're really looking for that because we want to spread it. We want to get Cookie University to as many areas of our council as possible. If you're thinking of, you may want to do it, but do it as a service unit money earner, then that's a different conversation. Last year we charged $20 and we sold out at 150 girls. However, when we had it at the high school, we could have had many more. We could have easily had 100 more girls come. So depending on your location, we would want you to at least have it open for 150 girls. So you would need a larger location. But we can have these conversations. So if you're really interested in bringing a Cookie University to your region, please email me. I'll throw my email in there again. But we really want to help out, and the girls had an amazing time, and we want to get them excited again and work on this. So if you're interested, email me, and I'm going to throw my email in. Okay.
Okay, so I am going to unmute Kathy. Oh, she unmuted herself already. Okay, so Kathy's going to go over the next few slides for a sneak peek into next year.
All right, well, we hardly get done with 1 year, and it's time to talk about the next.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
So we have a sneak peek at 2020. The theme is Taste Your Adventure. The mascot is a red. Sorry, I hope that's. Anyway, you can see the color palette. It's a little different than the narwhal with all the blue. Lots of purple and red. You can go to the next one. And we have girl-approved recognitions, and like every year, your girls will tell us what they really want to earn. And we've done that for the past few years, and it's really been helpful in increasing the PERGO average. So just another look at some camping stuff the girls can earn. And some of the travel items, sunglasses, drawstring bag, and a cool, clear crossbody bag. Somebody said fox isn't as cute as narwhal. I agree, but real narwhals are ugly. Ours is cute.
Are you going to talk about this? Okay. And we're going to have Rebecca come and talk about the price increase.
Okay. So as some of you may have heard already,
Are you muted?
Hi. Well, okay, I'm back. Gotta mute yours. Okay. So as it was spread to service units, that cookies will be going up next year. So our regular 8 varieties will be $5 per box. Gluten-free cookies will be $6. You know, this is our first increase in, I believe, 7 or 8 years. So it was bound to happen with the rising costs of, think, gas and milk and everything else that goes up, tomatoes, chicken, I don't know. I know we don't do that with cookies, but still, it's bound to happen with pricing increasing. So thankfully, it's been a good almost 8 years, I think, since we've gone up. But there will be new increased troop proceeds. That plan is still being worked out with our executive team. So once that is all approved and out of our hands and given to us, we will spread the word of what the new troop proceeds breakdown will look like. But definitely, you know, the troops will have additional proceeds. Our CEO already kind of guaranteed that. We don't know yet. North Jersey did go up to $5 a box. They were always higher for s'mores and gluten-free because Little Brownie is. So Jersey Shore's s'mores and gluten-free, as well as Heart s'mores and gluten-free, were already at higher than their regular, a little bit more. But we have not gotten the confirmation yet if Eastern PA or Heart of New Jersey or Jersey Shore is going up yet. Our CEO is in contact with them, and once she hears back, we will obviously let you know. We know that we are, you know, price increases are never easy. You know, we know the girls have to deal with customers and who already complain about $4 a box, and they can get the same cookie for $1 in ShopRite. So we will be heavily working on our marketing plans, looking back at the theme Powered by Cookies. Bless you, what girls earn, what buying a box of cookies does for the girls, because it's not just buying a box of cookies and making a baker like, Oreo rich. It's going back to our girls. It's going back to our communities. It's going to help the girls do amazing things. So our council will be working on new promotional materials, FAQs, any type of tools that we can give the girls and the volunteers to have out there. I know somebody said a few years ago when it did go up, there was like a sheet that went out that kind of showed how gas and the cost of living and things like that have gone up. So, we definitely will already be working on that to kind of show a correlation of the last price increase to where we're at. Kelly, I hope you're not out, but we will absolutely, like I said, we know True Proceeds is critical. We know messaging is critical. So we are already focusing on that. With getting the best messaging out there. We had a service unit who, Hopewell, really kind of honed into us 2 days ago about how much money the girls earn in True Proceeds and what it does for her girls, for her 300 girls that are selling. And these are the stories that we want to hear, because it's very easy for us to share stories from GSUSA or, something that ABC gives us, but we want our girls, I can go on my desk. We want to highlight our girls. So if your service unit has done some really cool things, or, given back to the community, or has given the girls great experiences from your cookie money, we want to hear about that so that we can spread the word, so people in those communities can see, like, oh wow, like these 300 girls in my community, this is what they've done by me buying a box of cookies. There's been a lot of consumer research. Jill posted about buyers expecting it to grow up. There is a lot of consumer research on people buying things to support causes like Girl Scout cookies and Boy Scout popcorn and, candy fundraisers for kids to go to a softball tournament. People who believe in those missions and understand will buy. Doesn't matter the price. So, for the folks who, the cranky ones out there who say, oh, I can't do it. It's $1 in here. Okay. It is what it is. We teach our girls to say, thank you. We appreciate it. For the folks who are diabetic and want a sugar-free cookie, even though it's against what the doctor says they should have, we say, sorry, we don't have sugar-free, but you can buy a box for the military. So it's all about teaching our girls the polite response, no's happen, and this is going to get back into like our financial literacy program and what we teach our girls to deal with sales, because prices always go up. I was even just looking at gas yesterday, like how did it literally go up 50 cents in like a month? It's crazy. But so thank you. We are really working on our marketing and messaging. And as soon as we have those proceeds, we will be announcing it. Anytime you have some issues with Cookie Boost and you think it may help, I know Shannon got involved a couple times last year and reached out to like Cherry Hill, I think had an issue with Walmart, and Shannon got involved from council and we were able to make it work. So if you do have an issue in your town with a cookie booth, please let us know. We're happy to call on your behalf. Sometimes that does help. Okay, so, as soon as we have that information, we'll be spreading it. So don't get, too upset. It's going to be okay, I promise. And recognitions. So recognitions, the order has been submitted a lot earlier than previous years. So ABC is in the process of putting all together the patches, the bags, the shirts, the hoodies, the plushes, all of that fun stuff. So as soon as we get shipping confirmation, as soon as Kathy lets me know, we will let you folks know that they're on their way. Our niece is handling the Norwalk earbuds and the Camp Life bundle. Unfortunately, they were with an outside vendor this year. So as soon as we get confirmation that those are available and on their way, we will be reaching out to you as well. As always, anybody who's earned an experience, the aquarium tickets, whale watching, Aladdin, the girls who earned that have all been contacted with more information. We send directly the electronics to the Girl Scouts home. Volunteer t-shirts, I'm still working on getting the sizes, but I will email the service unit cookie managers a list of who earned them. So you can have that. And then I may need help with a few sizes if people are lingering after Monday. So I will send you a list of what to expect. That is going to come later because it's a special order, a special t-shirt. And I didn't want to delay the girls' stuff for the volunteer t-shirts. So you should be receiving the girls' stuff before the volunteer stuff. Jill has a question about the volunteer t-shirts. If you want to type that in, go ahead, or if I don't know if you want to be unmuted, just let me know. But I still need about 150 sizes. So I'll be reaching out to folks by Monday who I haven't heard back from yet to get their sizes. Yes, the volunteer t-shirt, the first criteria was to have 10% more in sales. And I know somebody had mentioned that. I think when I posted on ABC Smart Cookies, the flyer, I had meant to attach the flyer, but it wouldn't let me. But the flyer has been spread on the app. It went out to on email to troop leaders. But the first and foremost criteria was a 10% more in sales. So troops had to have hit that first. Then after that, we gave them an additional week lead time. Pretty much anybody that got disqualified from that point on, it was around March 25th, 26th, it was because they still owed money to council. So if there's an issue, if somebody thinks they should have earned it and they didn't get an email from me because those emails already went out, please have them reach out to me. I can look it up, make sure that math wasn't wrong or something wasn't incorrect, and confirm if they should have earned the shirts or not. But yes, they did have to, as all of our volunteer incentive has been for the past few years, it had to be 10%. So I'm sorry for any confusion. I think I put it on the app, and then when I tried to send it in Smart Cookies, I did the whole message, but then I went to attach it and it didn't let me attach something. So I think that's why that went out without that 10% increase. But it was on the flyer and on the app. And it was also a big flyer on the troop guide that gave all the 4 criteria. Okay, any questions, comments? If you want to type something, if you want to be unmuted, type it in there and we can unmute you. But, we thank everyone. We're really looking forward to having this cookie booth, cookie task force. We really want to get some clear-cut guidelines outlined for you all so that there's no confusion. I know we saw some stuff with Acme. Yes, unfortunately, Acme wanted to be a council booth. They gave us the dates. Shannon begged them for more. It's how Acme Corporate wanted it to. Yep, Shannon's going to jump in about Acme because that was a very tough situation this year. So I'm going to let Shannon come on.
Okay, so I just wanted to address this really quick. So like I said, it did come down from Acme Corporate. They reached out to us. They reached out to all 4 New Jersey councils and wanted everybody to go through Acme's corporation. It is new this year, and actually the man who I worked with to set this up said the same thing. We would see how this year goes, and then we can talk about dates and things for next year, but he was new to even having us do it as a council booth, so he just limited the dates to see how it went. But I mean, we'll see how it goes in the future, and hopefully maybe next year, since everything went pretty smooth, we could throw a few more dates in, but that is up to Acme.
Okay, so yes, let's see. So Lori, I just did respond about the counterfeit bill. We had a couple troops who had counterfeit bills that may have gotten a balance letter. So unfortunately, I was going on vacation last week. I had to get those balance due letters out, and I completely forgot about checking the counterfeit list. So if you got a letter about a counterfeit bill, I apologize. Missy has emailed me. A few people have contacted her. Now that cookie wrap-ups are done, I will be looking into the ones that Missy's emailed me to work with Missy to get that credited in Smart Cookies. Make sure if you didn't get an email me about the t-shirts, let me know, email me your troop number so I can make sure you weren't disqualified for a balance due. So yes, by next week I'll be working on that. And again, I apologize. As a new manager, that was one aspect that completely just flew through the cracks about counterfeit bills. Also, Jill, we are thinking of, the volunteer increase, the volunteer incentive is, we're always looking for our sale to grow. We know that next year with a price increase, that may be a challenge. So if you're on our cookie committee, cookie task force, let's talk about the volunteer incentive for next year. We are happy to, look at some different ways to do it. We know, we got some comments back too about troops who've lost girls as they get older. It's very hard to get a 10% increase. So if you're willing to be on the committee, or if not, but you want to talk to me about the volunteer incentive, if you have some suggestions for how to maybe switch that around next year, we would love to hear it and have a conversation about that. We've gone over sibling things. Angela's been doing this a long time. It makes it really hard with sister prizes. Something we are thinking of doing is offering the family patch or a sibling patch. So that's definitely, Dawn, please. I know you mentioned you want to be on the cookie task force. Please bring that up as well. That's something we are noting down to see what we can do. I'm not sure, I can't promise sister incentives, but definitely we may be able to start with a sibling patch or something like that. So we are happy to talk about that again during the cookie task force. So the cookie task force isn't just about the booth sale. It's we're going to look at kind of everything and things that we're looking to change, whether it's early selling, social media guidelines, booth sale issues, and then also maybe take a look at some of these volunteer incentives and stuff like that. So let's see. So let's bring up some of these ideas for sibling things and training and stuff like that. And Jill, I guess, a couple of people asked about that, about the golden ticket. So we got the idea of golden ticket from other councils, and the reason it came on week 3 of the sale is because we don't need troops to get inventory the first 3 weeks. Our trucks, our warehouses are popping, people are picking up. So the point of the golden ticket was to increase people picking up at our warehouses, which surprisingly, when we looked at last year, we compared week by week to last year, we were already ahead. So we wanted to do something fun. We saw other councils did it and had a good time with that. But again, it wasn't something that was really meant to put out in the beginning, because we don't really have a purpose. The warehouses, we can't keep stock on hand the first 3 weeks because everybody wants cookies. But definitely we would love to, I would love to do the cookie, the golden ticket again next year in some capacity. So yes, on the task force, we'd love to talk about that as well. On other ways to do that. I think the troops who found it were super excited. I think it was a lot of fun we could have with that. So I can understand where you're saying that, people wanted to get cookies from the warehouse. But, again, like I said, I can show you the spreadsheet of last year to this year, and troops were still getting cookies from warehouses. So it's not like it was week 5 or 6 of the sale where nobody was getting cookies. Hundreds of troops were still getting pickups. So, at week 3 and week 4, troops really shouldn't be stressing about getting rid of cookies just yet. They still should be able to sell them. But let's talk about golden ticket in our task force. Kim O'Neill would love to help out. That's awesome. yes, our warehouse guys are great. They get better and better every year, and we love them, and we hope that they never leave us. So any other comments, questions? We don't want to keep everybody all night. So if you have more stuff, again, you have my email, our niece's email, Shannon's email. Please feel free to reach out to us. I think, yes, you can share about the price increase going up to your private leaders. It's not something that is going out to the public just yet. SUMs were told at the April SUM meeting. So I don't know if they just haven't had their their leader meetings yet to tell everybody. But they did know, they were invited tonight, and they did know when they were told 2 weeks ago that we would be sharing it at the wrap up. So I would say absolutely feel free to tell the private leaders, but it's really not something that you want to go out to the public just yet. We want to be prepared. We want to have data for you and materials for you before you share that, so that you're ready to handle any, issues or questions or concerns. We really want to have all that ready for you and prepared for you and the girls. So we definitely want troops to be prepared. We say take part in the fall sale and earn some money. And we've got lots of fun stuff coming down the pipeline for our fall sale. We'll be highlighting that at the Service Unit Symposium, and having more details after we meet with Erin in a few weeks on the new prizes and the new stuff that they have coming down the line. Super cute stuff. Thanks, Jill. It was our first year as a new team. We worked really well together. I hope that you guys all felt supported. We worked really hard to answer questions and emails and phone calls and cases within a few days. I know certain times can be harder during mega drops when we're really not in the office, and it's stressful for us because we feel bad that we're not there to really respond. But we really hope to be there and be supportive of you guys as best as we can. The symposium is Wednesday, June 5th, and Martha's team, the volunteer services team, should be spreading some stuff about that. And I believe that's at Lucian's Manor. Yes, our niece, we love Mega Drops, even though we're out for 2 weeks in the cold. Our niece is awesome. And we're happy for the service units. I think everybody who had a new Mega Drop this year was super happy, super successful, and they're a great way to do deliveries. So again, thank you guys for jumping on tonight. We really appreciate it. We're sorry we couldn't see you in person. We appreciated everything that you've done for us, and we hope you're all coming back next year. And again, let Shannon know if you're interested in being on the task force. Shannon, Kim O'Neill is interested. Let me know about Cookie Universities, because we want to get those planned and scheduled. And we look forward to working with you guys next year. So thank you, and have a great night. And email us with any questions, concerns, comments. We're still here. Have a good one.